5.
Is that on?
I just turned it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, watch it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Hey guys on Facebook, for everyone watching, I hopped on for just a second and saw some of the comments, and many of you were saying that you wish that you could be here today, so we are here to give you a bird's eye view. Lots of people here lining the street. As far, I held my cell phone up, and as far as my phone lens could pick up, that is where, people who are here for this rally are. Now, that just got started about 15 minutes ago. They're on a stage and they've had a variety of speakers speaking. You can hear crowds roar at times, clapping, supporting what they're saying. But all in all, a lot of people here today. They were expecting 10,000 people. And it looks just, looking down the streets, thousands of people are out here right now. We're at Pennsylvania and 13 and a half Street. For those of you guys that are familiar, a lot of hats and a lot of signs. Just looking out, you can see all sorts of signs and a variety of measures, some talking about government, some talking about female empowerment, and then there are also some counter-protesters here. I saw carrying abortion signs as well, and it seemed that they were having discussions with people who were here for the rally, but all in all, a lot of people here today. Hey guys. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
We are on Facebook Live and we're asking people what brought you guys out today.
Well, we are part of the Badass Brigade Virginia, the women who are rocking it and ratified the ERA, the 28th state to ratify it. So Virginia is rocking it today. We flipped our state blue, and if Virginia can do it, every state can do it.
Thank you so much. So there's people here locally, and there's also people here from out of state as well. I saw someone with a Philadelphia local t-shirt on, so we'll see if we can grab some other people and see where exactly they are from. Question, guys, we're on Facebook Live. Could I just ask, what brought you guys out here today?
We're all the way from Florida.
Florida?
Yeah, my daughter and I have gone to all four. This is our 4th march. This is our first time in DC. She just wanted a trip for Christmas for DC, and so she wanted to time it with the march, and so that's why we're here.
And so you did marches previously in Florida?
Yes, in Florida. Sarasota, Florida. We went to all 3 prior.
And this was your birthday gift?
Christmas.
Christmas gift.
Yes, my daughter.
And how come this?
Well, I love the marches and all the other ones that we went to, and I've always wanted to go to the DC one and see all of these people. It's really nice to be around all people who feel the same and have the same views, basically.
And now that you're here, what do you think?
This is awesome. This is way more people than were in Sarasota, obviously, but it's awesome to see everybody's creativeness and their signs and then hear everybody.
What's your sign say?
It says, reminder, women do not have to be polite to someone who is making them uncomfortable.
Thank you. So anything else you want people to know?
No.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your Christmas present. So as I was saying, people from local, DMV area, and then we have people from as far as Florida. We're going to kind of measle into the crowd a little bit so you can kind of get a feel for people who are at home what this exactly is like. So there's the risers up there, and we are pretty close comparatively to some people who are on down the street, but still it gives you an idea for just how many people are out here right now. Let's see if we can. Question, guys, we're on Facebook Live. Would I ask you just a few questions? So where are you from?
Auburn, Indiana.
What made you want to come here to DC?
To make it right for women to be equal no matter what your color is, and for abortion not to be a crime.
And so you're from Indiana. Have you gone to previous marches in Indiana or DC?
We've gone to every single one. And we've gone to 2 in DC and 2 in Chicago.
So talking about the marches here in DC, when was the last time you were here for a march?
Last year.
How is it different this year than last year?
the size is changed every year. It gets bigger and bigger as more people notice the problems that are happening.
You think it's getting bigger?
Yeah. The first one was probably the biggest because it was most change, but it's getting bigger than because I don't know, it's just bigger.
And what was your name?
Rowan,
Will you spell it for me?
Rowan.
Thank you so much, Rowan. Enjoy your trip in D.C. So we talked to people from Florida, Indiana, Virginia. So 2 out of 3 people are from further out. Again, you guys can take another look at all of the signs, a lot for a variety of different causes and so forth. And I'm just checking out the Facebook now. If you guys have any questions or if there's anything in particular that you guys would like to see. People asking if they are wearing pink hats this year. Yes, a lot of people are wearing pink hats, but they're also wearing a variety of other hats, whereas if you look in pictures in the past, there were a lot more. And you can see here, people are speaking out for persecuted women in Turkey, is what this is. It says free women, political persistence, I believe, is what these words say. What is your name?
Mehmet.
And tell me, what is this?
There are 18,000 women in Turkey falsely imprisoned, accused of being members of terrorist organization. The Kurdish women, Turkish women belong to Gülen movement, and they are imprisoned by Erdogan regime, the oppressive regime. So we are protesting this.
With almost 1,000 baby, right? Yeah, there is almost 1,000 baby with the moms in the jail right now. So, which says 18,000 women and with the babies in the jail right now in Turkey, because they are not agree with the presidents. That's they put to them the women in jail. So that's freedom for them. We ask for just for freedom. They don't do anything, just helping the poor people, but they are in the jail because they are not same agree with the president. They're helping the poor people. They're helping the education. They are working for education, but if we are together with them, with politicians, unfortunately, they're in the jail. So that's the reason for we are here.
Why did you guys want to come to the Women's March?
Well, that's the showing of ourselves. That's the time. It's freedom for them. That's why we are here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So a lot of different causes and a lot of different groups, organizations that are here today. And we were talking to someone about the size of this rally compared to years past. Well, the first one in 2017, hundreds of thousands of people filled these streets for the march, and this year, about 10,000 people are expected. So there is a slight dip, but you heard one woman say that she thinks it gets bigger and bigger every year. Lots of signs here too. Oh my God, that guy. For more local people, there's a sign here. Thank you, Virginia. Let's see if we can. Question, ma'am. We're on Facebook Live. Could we ask you a few questions?
Sure.
So, are you from here locally?
I'm from Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay, so very local.
Yeah.
How many years have you been coming out to these?
Oh my gosh. Depends on which march, but it's been since the 80s.
Oh, wow. So, I think for women's marches, I know in
I was in the first one, but I was living in Texas, so I did that one in Austin.
Okay. How many years have you been coming to the D.C. Women's March?
This is my second one.
And tell me about your sign.
Oh, this is to thank Virginia for being the final state to ratify the ERA. Now we're going to go to the courts and fight the deadline that was imposed in 1982.
Is that what made you want to come out today?
No, I just wanted to come out and be counted on, as opposing the current administration and supporting women in politics.
And you were here last year for this one. When it comes to size, what do you notice?
Well, it's been shrinking. And that just tends to happen. You get one huge thing, and then people splinter off and go into other movements sometimes. But I think it's still the evidence of the impact of the women's. I think the march itself didn't cause it. The march was a sign of what was happening to women politically, that we could see our rights were threatened, and more women ran for office. So I was an election officer in Alexandria in this last off-year election when the turnout is just really usually horrible. We expected to be bored all day, and in fact we only had one 5-minute period when there wasn't somebody voting, and we flipped the Virginia legislature, which is how this vote could happen.
So do you attribute women's marches to a surge in more women getting...
Yes. There are a lot more women in politics now. There's an unprecedented number in Congress right now, and I think that number is only going to grow because women are galvanized. And I think that the fact that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote last time really helped women think maybe they could also succeed in politics. Even though she's not president, the fact that so many people voted for her was, I think, a good sign for women. And it encouraged them. And in fact, even in conservative Orange County, there were women that won who were Democrats. So I think it's been oddly miraculous, this uprising of women.
And what was your name?
Rita Brock.
Will you spell that for me?
Yeah, RITABROCK.
Well, thank you, Rita. It was a pleasure talking with you.
It's a pleasure.
Hi.
Kimberly Hayes with Now. So nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We have our vice president. If you'd like to interview her, the National Organization for Women.
Sure. Hi.
Christian Nunez.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
And you are with Now.
Yes, I'm the national vice president for Now.
Okay. And what was your name one more time?
It's Christian Nunez.
Okay. And tell me, how many years have you guys been coming out?
We've been coming out from the very beginning. So every year we come out in different chapters, all different states, and DC chapter comes out and supports the Women's March. Yeah.
What have you noticed in the previous years since Women's March started across the country to now? What have you noticed across the country, if any, changes?
I think this year, the Women's March is really focused on addressing intersectional feminism, which I think is extremely important. So it's really focused on being more inclusive this year. I mean, they're addressing climate, they're addressing immigration rights, reproductive rights, a racial justice focus, which is super important, just recognizing all the different parts of feminism that sometimes we forget. So I think it's really important that we've moved to more of a intersectional feminism than anything.
And have you personally been out to all these marches in DC?
Well, I'm new to DC, so I've been to in DC, so I'm excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is the banner. It was used in the 70s in the Equal Rights Amendment. This is Now's banner.
Thank you.
Do you have a card?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Our money goes to... Want to catch this?
Okay. All right, so now we think we're going to get ready to start. Where do you think we should go? Where do you think we should go?
Yeah, I think I'm going that way.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try to get ahead of the crowd.
We're sending the female candidate. We're sending her to pretzels, bottled water. Pretzels.
Yep.
It sure is.
Get a tripod up there, right?
Yeah.
Sit down for a second.
Okay.
So this is...
Pull up the map. And for those of you guys on the Facebook stream, we are now. Thank you so much.
But I think they come here.
A little bit of them from the front.
Okay.
And then it's
Good morning, my fellow women. You are valuable because you are made in the image of God. And your children, unborn or born, are also valuable because they are also made in the image of God.
Can't find my phone.
Can you give me my check?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna put this down so we start going.
Sorry, I just got served. Finally.
Are you able to even get anything out?
I just finally did.
Are we still?
Yeah.
Did you bring that battery with you by any chance? The
Just,
small one?
yeah.
Cool. Sick. For them marching, but do they have to use the whistles? Bad enough I only got like 2 hours of sleep last night.
Did you record some of the...
Oh, I recorded everything.
Cool.
You're gonna have a lot of it. This is gonna be a file.
That's fine. And you got shot.
Marching a little bit, you grab a couple socks, we can call it a day. Not for shooting HD. No, so we're TV news.
I know that, but
I know DSLRs are so much fun.
so much harder, yeah. When they start hit on the head by someone drop a battery on them.
Don't shoot for it.
The DC Women's March is getting ready to start in just a few minutes. It's the start of the march here, and as far as you can see back for there's a rally with a stage and speakers that's happening right now, and as soon as that wraps up, the march is going. I'm going to drop a link where you can on Facebook Live right now, so you can follow along if you're at home.
I wonder if we should just go ahead and start heading back that way. That at the beginning, and then we can just stay in there for a minute and catch mid-crowd and see if we can catch some shots off the side. Start with what? Why can't we do this during the spring? We can, but I think that might be a little too far
Okay.
for right now. So we can at least get, the start of it. Oh, yeah, tweets or something. Especially since they got the park installed.
Get your pussy pants, they're cute and warm and fuzzy. Grab yours before Trump tries to grab you. Black old women.
All right, guys, and if you are just joining our Facebook Live, the march is getting ready to start. Getting ready to start. They have people lined up. There were speakers on risers just about a block or half a block down. That was wrapping up, and people now ready to go. Police have the roads closed around the area in which they will be traveling, and they're going to be going down Constitution and all around the White House, and already thousands of people are here. They expected 10,000 people. No way for me to judge from where I'm standing exactly rough estimate of how many people, other than I would say thousands of people. Holding my phone up as far as I could see, there were people. So we're just waiting for the march to actually start. Lots of signs, if you're just looking around, lots of signs, especially around the front of where they're going to be marching. They had there it is. The one in front says Rise Up, the Women's March 2020. And then they have some really decorative signs. I don't even know if you would call it a sign. These massive paintings that multiple people are wearing in an effort to carry, saying a variety of things. The flower in front of where you guys are seeing is bands off our body. And then there's also We Rise from the Ashes, and it looks like a scene with the wilderness. So lots and lots of people here. Right now we're just kind of waiting for everything to get started. So I just want to give you guys a heads up for people who may have just joined and hopped on the Facebook Live. But lots and lots of people here. We've talked to people from Indiana, we talked to people from Florida, we talked to people from Virginia, we talked to people from a variety of places, all coming here to DC. Some people say that they were going to their local ones for years, and they finally wanted to come to DC to the head Women's March, is what they were calling it here. So just hang tight if you are watching. It should get started in just a few minutes. Do you guys have any estimates for how many people are here so far? Sorry, not yet. turn onto 17th Street. They're going to turn at Lafayette Square at H Street, come back up 15th Street, and finish right back here. So they're going to make it completely around the White House. Again, kind of just waiting for it to get started. It should be any minute. I keep hearing cheers back behind the group that's lining up, and that's where they've got risers, they have a stage, they have TVs, and that's where they have had speakers for about the last hour, speaking, talking, variety of different organizations, and there's a lot of organizations here today. If you're familiar with just a few looking around, we interviewed Now. We have Jewish Women March for Justice. I just saw that sign. New Mexico Women, Stop New Mexico. I think that might be their organization. Just a variety of different groups. Just for me looking at the signs around here, just to give you guys some perspective for how many people are exactly here. And then, of course, we have a lot of local people, too. And I talked with one woman who said she's been coming out every year for the last several years here in D.C., a woman who said she's from Arlington. And when we talk about the size of this march, I mean, it's a very large march. They registered, expected to have about 10,000 people here today. But whenever we compare to the march that happened in 2017, right after President Trump's inauguration, or maybe it was right before, right around that time, there were hundreds of thousands of people that were here. So just some perspective on size. And I talked with a woman and asked her, why do you think the size is going down? And she said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. She said people are, going into different sectors and they're doing different marches basically for the same thing or a similar cause, but they've just branched out. She said also since these marches started, there's been a surge of women in politics, and she credited that to these marches as well.
Je te vois. Avance là, avance tout droit de là où
Sounds like it is getting ready to begin. Sounds like it's getting ready to start, so just waiting to see if you guys can hear that. You know, as this is happening, it's starting to sleet. It was flurrying a little bit earlier. Now it's like the sleet rain mix, and clearly not deterring people out here.
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. When I say women, you say rising. Women. Rising. Women. Rising. Women. Rising. Women. Rising. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what
Someone take these. No, I hate working with gloves on, but. Oh, yes. I'm gonna get the start and then let's run over to the side.
Thank you. Move back. Come on. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Hold the line. Step back, you guys. Ladies, hold the line. Don't walk. Hear me? Hold the line. All right, move. Let's go. Move back. Move back. All right, go.
All right, guys, it is starting.
Let the marchers march. Gotta go back.
Let's go to the side. This is nuts. You were going to the corner? Let's go to the corner.
Hey guys, we just moved back. It is starting. They are marching. We wanted to get out of the way. So as soon as they get up here, you guys can fully see. And from back here, even the very back of the screen towards the left, is that massive monitor. That's the stage. That's where the bulk of everybody is right now. And they're going to trickle in and join the march as it slowly starts to move. That's why we hopped out of the way. So that way, as they start walking, we can show you guys rather than be in the hustle and bustle of running backwards. So they're going to get up here. They're going pretty slow. So that kind of gives an idea of how long this march is going to take. Again, they're going to go all the way down 15, Constitution, H, and then back up and around. So it's going to be a pretty big march, and they're going to go all the way around the White House. So it could take a little bit for those of you guys who live in this area. You've been monitoring the traffic. The roads are closed around that area. Right now we're on Pennsylvania. Yeah, right now we're on Pennsylvania, slowly starting. I mean, I've been standing here talking for a few minutes, and they're kind of creeping up as soon, once they really get started too. You can see everybody. All right, we'll show you guys. And besides the people marching, there's a lot of people on the sidewalks with signs, almost watching the parade go by. The rally, the marchers that are all lined up go well beyond this block. I can see 3 stoplights down and still people in the street a part of this. Just giving an example of the magnitude of how many people are here. even as we're waiting here, you can see people lining the streets. Question, we're on Facebook Live.
Hi.
What brought you guys out here today?
Well, we're out here ourselves because we've been part of the Women's March from the very start. We are the women-led organization Code Pink, and we are out here to say no way to a war with Iran. We know what happens with wars. We've seen the tragedy of the Gulf War, and we watched the lies that brought us there, and we're watching the same thing right now with Iran. And we are calling for diplomacy and for peace with Iran, as well as peace in Korea. And so we're out here, and we know the effect on women and children that wars have.
Well, thank you so much. Don't want to miss them. So you guys, and I'll keep talking to you while we watch them.
This one, right?
Yep. Were you guys here and a part of the first march in
We sure were. We were one of the very first partners of the Women's March, and we are a primary partner of the Women's March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. question, ma'am.
Susan, talk about why you're out here today.
I'm out here to support women. I'm out here to support justice. You know.
Where are you from?
I'm from DC, but I live in Virginia Beach now.
How many years have you been coming to the DC March?
Not that many. Yeah.
Is this your first one?
This is my first one, but I've been in other marches previously.
And what was your name?
Laura.
And your last name?
Right.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You guys out here today?
Because I have 4 granddaughters, 10 years or younger. So that's why I want them to have equal rights.
Where are you guys from?
We're from Chapel Hill. I'm the president of Chapel Hill now, and I'm here for all the women of Chapel Hill and all the women who are working today and can't get off work.
Is this your first year to come to DC? Is this your first year in DC for the march?
No, I was here the first year, and after that I marched in North Carolina. So this is the time to come back. This is the last march.
Why is it the last march?
Because Donald Trump is going to be defeated in the next election, and we're going to have a president that understands what democracy is about and respects women.
Compared to the first march when you were here, what differences do you notice?
The weather. The weather was a lot better that day.
And what was your name?
My name's Geraldine Richards.
Can you spell it for me?
GeraldinRichards.
Thank you, guys. What brought you guys out here?
The fact that we live here and we have an opportunity to do this and to protest, why wouldn't?
Do you live here?
Yes.
How long have you been to one of these marches in DC?
Yes, I was here in the first big one that was right after inauguration. That was immense. And I have 6 friends that came from all over the United States to stay with me so they can participate. So now I have friends from Florida. I got friends that I've known for over 30 years, and we all got together and came over.
And so they came in town just for this?
Yes.
What does this mean to you?
What does it mean to you? It's her birthday today.
This means to me that I don't have daughters, but I have nieces. I have sisters. I have friends. I have all around the world, and this means that we finally have a voice to say that enough is enough. It's my body, it's my choice, it's my right to vote, it's my right. And this is what this says to me. It says it's time for us to speak up.
And we all have a voice.
And we all have families.
And we also have a vote. Don't forget to vote.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What are your names?
Thank you.
I am Margaret Bohr.
You spell your last name?
Devore.
For you, ma'am?
Esther Rodriguez.
Okay.
You want me to spell the last one?
Rodriguez.
You got it.
Thank you both. Yeah.
You want to take a couple more shots?
Is this crazy?
Yeah. You're like, yeah. It's just sloppy weather.
Okay.
Right? Which way should we go to do this? Here, I'll back up. If you like here. Actually, do you want to march or just stand still? We'll go around.
Okay, we can stand still.
People march around her.
Yeah, don't march
Okay.
around. Yeah. Rolling.
3, 2, 1. Today, thousands of people came out to the DC's Women's March. But for people who have been here for multiple marches, they noticed something. This march is smaller than in years past.
Yeah, do that again.
He yelled. Okay.
I'm still rolling. Keep going.
Thousands of marchers from across the country and across the world came to DC to participate in the Women's March. But this Women's March is a little different than in years past. That is the size of the march. Do one more time?
Yeah, let's do safety.
Okay. 2, 1. Thousands of people came here to DC today for the 2020 Women's March. People from across the country and across the world. But you may notice something different with this march compared to years past. It's the size.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Well, we finished it in time.
Okay.
our way back.
Hey,
know who that is, right?
Who?
It's Alex Jones.
Who?
Crazy psycho infowars guy. Oh. Told him to stop.
Hey, we're at the end of the march now. I guess we're gonna cut it. We're gonna go back. All right, bye. Number 2.